Hi guys, welcome back to the Heel Project. We are back, but it's just me and Pete. There's no link, so that must mean one thing, Pete.
It's football time.
It's football time. We're going to talk football. I'm also noticing I'm very, very washed out. But, I mean, it is what it is. You got to represent Forest Green when you can. Represent your home team, even if you don't believe in the vegan bollocks that they preach.
I'm not from Ajax.
You're not from Amsterdam, no. Pete's not from Amsterdam, so sorry. I don't know what to say about that. But anyway, we are here to do our Premier League predictions. I don't know how we got on last year. Maybe at some point when I'm back off holiday, maybe we can react to what we did last year, Pete, because we've not even looked at it.
And no, but I will say one thing. Saliba, I remember actually we picked Arsenal to win the league. I think we come quite close to that.
Yeah, and I think one of my breakout stars, funny enough, was Cole Palmer, and the other one was Julian Alvarez.
I had Saliba.
I think I went a year too early for Alvarez and Palmer. I think they're going to play a huge part for City this year.
I was going to say, if we were picking young breakout stars, especially earlier on, Palmer's mine. Now that Mahrez has gone.
Oh, he scored a screamer in the Community Shield, didn't he?
Plus, he's going to start getting game time. Mahrez going.
So you'd imagine so. But yeah, Pete knows roughly one of my predictions in this, so he's intrigued to be sort of where I'm going. So what we always do is we always start at the bottom and work our way up. So we're going to do sort of the relegation zone and work our way up. And there's a team for me that Pete already knows, and maybe a few others that I've mentioned it to, that I'll be missing from the bottom three, but that's mainly because I'm of what is in the bottom three, really. Partly, shall we say. So, Pete, who have you got is 20th? I'm going to take one guess.
We know who it is. We know who it is that's finishing rock bottom for me. That's Luton.
Pete's got Luton Town, and him and who was it? Was it Crispy Doon? I want to shout out to one of our friends, Crispy Doon, in our Discord. Links for our Discord down below. Yeah, you both saying that it could be the lowest points in history.
I really think it is. And I was looking at some of the signings, just hoping they'll make anything to try and turn that around. And they've just been buying good Championship players.
They have.
I don't think it's just setting them up so when they go down, they can instantly come back up.
But I'm going to just point out that my 20th team was Sheffield United. In particular, that's been cemented by a bit of a move today. I don't know if that's actually gone through yet at this point. It may have done because we recorded this on the Tuesday. It may have gone through by this Friday. It might collapse and it might not have happened at all. But Sander Berg's going to Burnley, isn't he?
There is rumours.
And he's a player that I would have actually rated quite highly. And actually, I think we were linked with him at one point when they got relegated. And I think he could be a bit of a loss for them. But I don't see where are they? Sheffield United. Their signings. If what Pete's saying, I actually think Sheffield United are probably worse. Have you seen them?
Yeah, I know. They are.
They are terrible. And then if you consider the fact that they've lost Billy Sharp as well, who's okay ability wise, they're not losing a massive amount because he's aging. But I think leadership, man in the dressing room, I think they'll suffer a lot for it. And Yasser Larouki on loan is as a Liverpool fan, is a pretty poor signing if you ask me. He looked terrible in all the games that I've seen him play for us in the 23s.
They've even lost someone an ex-player from my local side. Their biggest player of all, really.
Who's that?
Ndiaye.
Oh, Ndiaye. Yeah.
He's gone to Marseille.
Yeah, is he on my list? For some reason, he's not on my list. Why is he not on my list, Pete? Or has it not officially happened, perhaps, yet?
Well, no, undisclosed. On TalkSports it has as well.
Okay, I'm looking at Sky Sports. So Sky Sports, sort your stuff out. But yeah.
Yeah, he's actually a top player that's gone out to Marseille for an undisclosed fee.
So I think it's a fair one. I've got a feeling, Pity. I'm going to ask: are Sheffield United your 19th team?
No, they're not.
Oh, who's your 19th team? I wonder. We could have the same then, I suppose.
Well, I've gone for someone who I think got very lucky last year, and I've gone for Forest.
Okay, yeah. So have I.
I've gone Forest this time.
I've gone Forest. I just don't think they've recruited nearly well enough yet again. I mean, well, not yet again. They bought a lot last year.
Yeah.
Okay, they've bought in a Langer. Value-wise, I mean, is not. What was it?
I think he's a good player.
Mil? That's not terrible.
But he's a signing for the future for me, and they need something now.
Yeah, and then you're looking at Chris Wood. It was okay for them. Learned the last season. Manny Norcutt from Man U. Man U fans, tell me who he is. I don't know who that is. I don't have a clue. And Ola Aina, who once played for Chelsea, if I remember rightly. Quick fullback. But is it enough to get them out of danger? I mean, they've lost a fair little bit of depth with a few of those players that have got released. I don't know. I think, yeah, the fact
they're just coming up short for me.
Yeah, well, the fact that we've got them both in 19th says a lot, doesn't it?
Yep.
18th?
I've gone for a shock one here. And
I bet you've got the same as me.
I've gone for a team that I think have been very lucky, have lost their best player, and I just don't. I'm going for Palace.
Oh, who's their best player? Is it? Oh, Zaha. Is that what you saying?
Zaha. Yeah.
Free. Yeah.
I just don't think they've got a deep enough squad, and they've lost some good players. Even people like Buckland weren't a brilliant. He never really played, but what a backup player to have. You've got MacArthur on there. You've got some decent players they've lost.
So, for me, there's a team in a worse state than that. Mainly because they've lost a hell of a lot of leadership. The fact that they loaned one of their players that they've got rid of this summer, they loaned him out to Everton, and now they've sold him to Leicester, is just mental.
I know you're going to say.
Jimenez is gone. Cody's gone. Ruben Neves is gone. I got to have Wolves in there at 18th. For me, that is too much disruption for a team that are going to suffer. Plus, they've got this issue going on at the minute, whatever's going on backstage with Lopetegui, if that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
I think they're going to really struggle this season.
I think Wolves are going to struggle. I've not got them far off. But, yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, Palace to go down, though, is...
Yeah, I just think they've been very short. And do you know what? They didn't have the worst start with Vieira. And knowing that Hodgson's still in there, and I'm like, do you know what? I just can't see anyone scraping them out of it.
But he did prove us both wrong. So we were running the Backhill podcast for a bit last year, and we all said, "No, that's them God now."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were fucking wrong, weren't we?
Yeah, I think now that's he was Zaha. Do you know what? It was when they really, really needed him. He managed to pull something out of the bag. He kind of gave them that glimmer of hope. And I just can't see anyone now. But mind you, they've not done. They've actually made. They've only made a couple of signings, but one was a £26 million signing. They've got who's that? Franca from Flamengo.
Yeah, he's one that I've actually looked at. I was like, oh, he could be all right. I've seen a few clips of him. Like, he doesn't look terrible. That might when you're talking relegation zone, that is the difference. But even Jefferson Lerma is a good signing, in my opinion. But the fact they're willing to spend 26 million on a striker,
it just worries me that I've always thought they were very lucky to stay up with someone like Zaha there.
So Zaha's actually, for me, isn't as big as a loss as they think, because Zaha and we've been having a lot of discussions this week about Kane in our Discord.
Yes.
And whether Spurs were foolish for not taking the first offer that was offered to them yesterday, which was 86 plus 17 mil on add-ons or whatever. But Zaha going for, considering they were going to offer him 300 grand, or was it 200 grand a week, something stupid for their level? I think they could actually spend that same amount of money that they would spend on Zaha on a player equally as good, or even two players, because that was the problem with Palace. They'd lost a player, they lost Zaha, and they had no one to replace him. Well, if they can get a bit more depth in by getting Zaha's potential wages that they had gone, which, in all fairness, I got a feeling they've spent on Franca. 26 mil, probably about right. I don't think he's that big of a loss, really.
Don't get me wrong. I don't think on the pitch, it didn't seem like he'd made that much of a difference.
Not last season in particular, but
I think it was just they just see him as he was a bit of a god there, and it was
a bit of a talisman. But again, amongst the players, it's mad, but I actually think Luka Milivojevic going could actually be more of a loss to a team that are facing a relegation battle than Wilfried Zaha, just because of their leadership in the dressing room and being able to get them through the tough times.
I can imagine them. There's no one really there that can do that for him now.
No, even James. I know James McArthur was out on loan last season, I think, in the end, wasn't he? But
because you're going to get teams looking at players like Eze and that, trying to snap them up. And once you lose key players like that,
Eze,
I think they're pretty much writings on the wall.
Eze and Elise would be a bigger problem if for them to stay. So that's why I've not got them to go down. I think Elise and Eze are going to be the two that step up big time for them this season. In 17th. I've only just got Luton here, Pete. So, my thoughts about Luton is that
I'm waiting for this.
They actually haven't lost a lot. They haven't gained a lot, but because they haven't upset that apple cart, and Wolves, Forest, and now Sheffield United. Sheffield United were that team that I actually thought I could easily put them in 17th place, and maybe I would have put Wolves and Forest in 19th and 20th, and maybe put Sheffield United in 18th. Put Luton in 17th and Sheffield United in 17th. I don't think, because they've disrupted their team too much this year, that actually they might just be all right. And they didn't even start the season with the dickhead that left us for Watford. Fucking twat. As manager at the start of the season. And I dare say, if they had have started with him at the start of the season, I could have seen him get an automatic promotion, you know.
He'd done very well there. He did.
I think also there could be a lot to be said about, and well, the fact that they brought in a Nakamba back actually is bigger than you think. Yeah, okay, it's not an outstanding signing for them as an overall, but as a squad and keeping the teams together and keeping them sort of just ticking over, I think it could be very good. Yeah, okay, it's given it the safety net. If they do go down, they've still got a championship team. Yeah, okay. For me, there's only really one that I actually know is a terrible signing, which is Chong, and I'm happy to be proven wrong.
Yeah,
Chong for $4 million is Birmingham have had an absolute steal there.
I tell you what, for Luton to even stay up, they need to have one of their strikers or two of their strikers to have outstanding seasons, because it's going to be hard to get those goals.
For me, if you remember when Bournemouth came up, they had a pretty good home record.
Yeah,
because it's a different ground to what teams are used to. Yeah, okay, Kenilworth Road's having a little bit of an upgrade, but it's still Kenilworth Road. Yeah. It's still a shithole. It's still in the middle of a fucking estate. It's grim. No one's going to want to go there. You really think that Kevin De Bruyne's going to go there and turn up in his best frame of mind? No. He rocks up at Spurs, London Stadium. Yeah. He's in his comfort zone.
He's going to thrive.
Players will not be in, like, certainly in the top half of the table, are not going to be in their comfort zone when they go to Luton Town. Where Luton might come unstuck at home this season is going to be against the teams that they've been more used to playing, with players that are more used to playing that level.
Yeah, so, I was about to say, you'll have the Fulhams, the Brentfords and that loving to play there.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah. But I think if you're talking the top, the big six,
yeah,
I think a few of them might actually not even struggle. There'll be one or two that steamroller them, of course. But I think they'll get enough points. I really do. And the fact that they've lost Neves at Wolves is just massive for me. Sander Berg going at United, as well as and how'd you say it?
I think it's Njai.
Njai, and then Forest just not doing enough and losing a lot of depth.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's good enough. Do not get me wrong. Luton will stay up this season, is my prediction. They will finish 20th next season unless they spend an absolute fortune. This is like, if you remember when Reading came up with under Koppel and Wigan came up under Paul Jewell. They'll get 17th. Although those teams got 10th. I'm not 10th and 11th, I think they got. I'm not
massive shots.
I'm not as optimistic as that. But I can see them staying up by a couple of points. I'm only talking they're maybe going to get 31 points. But I don't think they're going to get as low as what you guys seem to be thinking, which is less than, what is it? Was it 11 that Derby had?
Yeah, I looked at the record the other day, and it's going to be hard to beat that. To be fair,
it's going to be a bit low. I think they've got to win like 3 at home, and I'm like, and it's pretty much there. It's like, yeah.
Well, I've got someone that you've actually got in your bottom 3. I've gone Sheffield United to just scrape it.
So we've had our. Oh no, because I had
Luton was 17th.
Yeah. So Sheffield United, yeah, fair enough.
Sheffield United there at 17th. I just think they're just going to scrape through.
Is that the similar sort of reasons as what I was saying?
Yeah. Just they've lost a hell of a lot. I think Palace just that little bit more. Yeah, I think Roy Hodgson as well. He's knowing the tactics they play.
You just don't trust him, do you?
I don't. I really don't.
The thing for me is that Roy, realistically, has only got it really massively wrong at Liverpool.
I think that's what.
And that's what hurts. Yeah,
punishing him for that now.
I wear the Forest Green top because they're my local team, but again, they died a long time ago for me when they went vegan, and the heart got ripped out of the club. So Liverpool was sort of the big boys that I followed, and so watching them under Roy just was painful.
I did consider getting his name put on that shirt, but I done it just because he was
Hodgson.
there. Hodgson's there. I've got Hodgson.
Why would you have
right there?
Right, hang on. Comment section. If you've got this far, please prove.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have a manager's name on a shirt.
The first man to sign that shirt was Roy Evans.
You wouldn't have. Oh, you're about signing it.
Yeah. And I've got him signed it.
Oh, I pictured you having the fucking name on the back.
No. Yeah. Literally got Roy Hodgson signed it right there.
Yeah, that's fine, mate. That's fine.
No, but I did debate having him put on there. I was like, do I want him?
What name?
Even signing it, yeah. No,
right. Okay.
Do I want him to sign it?
Okay.
He kind of destroyed that shirt a bit for me, but
fair enough. So yeah.
Right. Do you want to go for 16?
Yeah, you go 16th if you want.
I've got Everton.
I'm going to surprise you with this in a minute. I have. I haven't. Why do you think Everton?
I just don't think they're gonna. They haven't improved enough compared to where they were. They've got 2 players in, and one of them is Ashley Young.
Scored in pre-season, didn't he?
Yeah. You've got Ellis Sims, someone that I really think could have made a difference there, especially with the amount of time that Calvert-Lewin's been injured. Yeah. Ellis Sims, I was like, do you know what? He could step up this year. And then they've just gone and sold him to commentary. And it's like, what?
Yeah. No, I agree. For me, they're Everton, though. They're one team that are going to go one way or the other. Like, you could say that they've lost squad depth. But for me, under Dyche, it now looks like they've cut dead wood. Yeah, okay, yeah. Sims is what it is.
But mind you, even Mina, I don't like the guy. I think he's a dirty footballer. But he done a job there at the back. He kept Haaland quiet. You see the marks all over Haaland.
My thing on that, though, is why they didn't sign Cody, because I think they were offering $4 million for Cody to go to them.
Exactly.
That's like, it seems to be like the perfect Dyche player, and would have been up there as captain with maybe Tarkowski. Now that I was going to say,
instant replacement for Mina as well.
Exactly. It was a weird one. But they were so much better under Dyche. They were.
Yeah, I think they were. But they were very lucky towards the end as well. And I'm thinking, do you know what? Unless Calvert-Lewin has a stormer of a season, I just can't see it happening from now. Gordon going as well. He's gone now. He went to Newcastle.
Mate.
But the thing is, though, at Everton, he made a difference. He looked good.
I don't think he
did.
In
a bad
His
Everton
stats
side.
Weren't as fucking good as they thought. It's just that, he got the ball and he could do something with it. But 9 times out of 10, the end product wasn't there. I wasn't sold on that. Like I said, I could see this being a bit of dead wood. But again, I can also say where I've got them in a minute. But I can also see them finishing where you've got them. But I can also see them finishing 20th. It's one of them. I haven't decided whether they needed more. I think they probably definitely need a striker. Although they have got more pie. I've got Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin can stay fit, then they're laughing.
That's the problem.
If Calvert-Lewin stays fit, I think they're mid-table, if not higher.
Yeah. If Calvert-Lewin stays fit, but that's a big if at the minute because he's not had the best history of staying fit. This is why I really thought Sims would step up this year.
No,
If Ellis Sims stayed, trust me, I would have had him a fair bit higher.
No, fair enough. I got Bournemouth in 16th. They're an okay squad. The team are all right. Why they sacked O'Neill is beyond me.
Yeah.
But I mean, what's his name? Iraola or whatever his name is. Is going to do a good enough job, I think. They won't wow teams, but losing someone like Lerma's not great. The signings they brought in are all right. They've spent a bit of money, but all of them,
Justin Kluivert.
But none of them have played in the Prem.
No.
So
that's the thing. It's going to take some time to get used to.
Signed,
even for top players.
Yeah, well, they've lost Premier League experience in Lerma and Stanislas for sure, and then they've lost. They've gained 5 players that could potentially all be flops. Don't get me wrong; they could all be absolute bloody worldies. Can't come end of season. Kluivert is the name that obviously you look at, but he's probably not.
That's not because of that Kluivert.
Yeah, and he's a tricky player. 15th. I bet you've got Wolves here.
I've got Wolves here
because that's where I've got Palace. So they're just.
I have got Wolves here.
That's funny. Yeah, same sort of reasons. Palace.
These are the ones I struggled with. There was a bunch of teams, and it was like, right, where are these going to go? Because these are the ones I kind of put in their own little league and just graded them.
Yeah. Go on, let's do from 14th right up to 11th for you now, Pete.
Right, I've got Bournemouth here.
Yeah.
Burnley.
Interesting.
I think Burnley will do all right, to be fair.
You'll see why it's interesting.
Yeah. Then this is the next 2.
Yeah.
I was debating these for a while, and I've got Fulham in 12th.
Yeah, okay.
And Brentford in 10th.
Is that literally because...
11th, sorry.
Yeah.
Brentford in 11th.
Is that literally because of the no Tony?
No Tony, they're going to struggle a bit there, and Bremo's going to cover a bit, but you've missing a big goal scorer there, and he's out till Christmas.
Yeah, and that's a big player to miss. Nathan Collins isn't a bad sign in mind.
No.
But again,
it was just the teams above them.
They're a bit...
Yeah, the teams above them I was looking at. I was like, do you know what? These ones will just tip it. If they had Tony from the beginning of the season, he's going to get you a few points.
Yeah. I mean, I've already said Bournemouth, so I've not got them. I've got 14th place is Fulham. 13th place is Burnley, exactly the same as you, Pete. Brentford, I've got 12th. So exactly the same reasons. And I've got West Ham 11th. I don't think they're going to quite break top half. I think they've, like we've been, again, talking about the Discord again, there's been a few times that they've gone in for a player and they've been priced out of it. Wait, when did Scamacca go to Atalanta? I missed that one. 27.5 mil. So they've got a lot of money to spend, but they're having to pay premiums for players. They've lost Lanzini. Yeah, okay, he wasn't their best player at the end of the career, but still depth, isn't it? And they might get in this Mexican guy Alvarez from Ajax by the end of the window, and they're going before we start the season, and then they got Maguire and McTominay, but potentially.
But I'd say I think the one they're going to actually spend a bit on is McTominay. I think they'll be crazy not to. They're going to go in low ball bids. They're going to.
Yeah.
But I think they will end up spending because he'll be, for me, the perfect replacement for Rice for West Ham.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's Alvarez. There's Alvarez will be just as good. I do like Alvarez.
Yeah. I think there's that Premier League knowledge as well. McTominay's you can't get much better, and I think Man United will let him go.
And if they can pick up Maguire as well, if they can get semi-international Maguire, then they'll be laughing. But they're still, for me, to not be top 10, they're still lacking a proper striker.
Yeah,
Antonio's not good enough. They've sold.
No, they do need some goals from midfield.
They've sold they're supposed to be their good player, Scamacca. Yeah. That's what they thought it was going to be. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Not quite top 10. Although Burnley, Pete, both of us having them in 13th.
Yeah, I think they'll do all right, to be fair.
I actually could have easily put them higher.
I was tempted to. But I don't. Who have they got? Have they got
They've got in some good players, to be fair. James Trafford, I think, could be a good one, but they've also got some bloody good goalkeepers in.
I was about to say Trafford was a big way of me keeping them up, because I actually switched. I actually switched Burnley around. I had them originally in 15th. I was looking over some of the signings.
They're all right.
I think they'll do all right.
Yeah, I mean, Michael Obafemi is a decent signing. They brought in Lawrence Vigouroux.
Nathan Redmond,
who's a decent keeper. Vigouroux's he was obviously at Liverpool. Redmond's a Premier League experience. Okay, he's not going to be amazing. James Trafford's good, but mark my words, Becky Amdouni will be the signing of the whole league this year. I think he'll smash it for Burnley under what company wants. Zaki Amdouni is a really under the radar signing, super under the radar. Very surprised that they got him. To be honest, I was seeing him linked with all sorts of European clubs. Thought maybe playing under Vincent Kompany could be enough. Again, it's hard with Burnley because he's built something there. Still his first season at Premier League football. Kompany I'm on about.
Yeah, I could see Kompany really doing well. I can see him not staying at Burnley too long, because I can see some of the big teams going after him soon.
Well, he's got the name about him as well, so it's good. But James Trafford obviously had a fantastic Euros. Yeah.
What a deal! Because I tell you, if they got him literally, weren't the deal done like the week before?
It was done the week before, but it didn't get announced until after.
Yeah, but could you imagine? Could you imagine if the deal was done after that? Oh, that figure would have jumped up ahead.
But 90 million, I think it's a good deal for both sides, to be fair.
Yeah.
Both getting a decent deal, and I'm fairly sure it's got a buyback price as well.
Yeah.
So could be good for City in the future when Ederson decides to move on. But yeah, they already had, what's his name? Muric, is that the right one? The goalkeeper that used to also be at City. So they've got abundance of ex-City players.
I was about to say they've got a good link with City now as well.
Yeah. 14th though, I got Fulham. You've got Fulham 12th.
Yeah.
If Mitro goes, has he gone? Has that happened?
No, he's still in the squad, but he don't want to be there.
For me, Jimenez is nowhere near going to be as influential as Mitrovic though. And this is what worries me.
And I'll be honest, I had to think about this one, because I was like, William's a good player. He'll do something for him. But he looks like he might be on his way out as well already.
Yeah.
Because even though he's just re-signed, it looks like the Saudis are after him, so he might be kicking up to go.
Yeah, as soon as they started whispering things into his ear, he was done. I mean, Calvin Bassey's a decent player, though. He used to be at Rangers. I don't know how he actually got on at Ajax, but he was doing a good job at Rangers, so I'll be interested to see if he can keep the form that he had, because he's a bit of a. I think he's going to be a bit of a nuisance to get the ball off of, because fullback, I think. I want to say he's a fullback.
Look at that.
He's a big boy.
They've not really lost too much that will harm the squad at the minute.
Don't think Jimenez is the player he was since before his injury.
No.
You lose Mitrovic. You lose a caps in there as well, mind. Yeah, okay, they've got other players that are captain styles, but yeah, it's a lot of leadership to lose, and it can easily see them being pushed towards the relegation zone, in my opinion.
Fulham was one of the teams that I started off with. I was like, do I, don't I? And it was just filling in gaps. But I think the other teams like Wolves, Bournemouth, I think they're just missing that something compared to Fulham.
Fair enough. I think we got similar-ish. I think we have similar-ish 10th, 9th, and 8th. So who have you got? I'll do mine actually first time. In 10th, I've got Brighton. I actually think a bit of Europe might make them struggle. They've got a bit of depth, which actually the depth is all right. I didn't realise how semi-decent the depth was when I looked at it. Where the fuck are they? Don't know me alphabet. Mahmoud Dahoud, one of my favourite players for just his name alone. João Pedro's a decent signing, to be fair. Milner's a great signing for many reasons, but losing McAllister and even just losing a keeper of Sanchez's quality. Yeah, okay, he wasn't going to play for them because Zerbi, whatever his name is, made it quite clear he wasn't going to be number one. But he's not going to be around forever. So losing a goalkeeper of his standards is a bit of a kick in the ass, and they've not replaced anybody to come in as goalkeeper instead. Which, do you really think Jason Steele's good enough to be a Europa League goal or whatever he is, Conference League goalkeeper?
And there's a lot of games there as well.
I don't think so.
No, and there's a lot of games to have no one.
I'll be honest, I was surprised. Yeah, okay, Sanchez is similar to De Gea, but I keep saying De Gea is still De Gea. He's still a bloody good goalkeeper. If I was Brighton fan, I'd want him snatched up. But there we are. I then have Everton in 9th, because I said this is the season that I said they'll either be they'll be back to their old self under Dyche, they'll be where you've got them, or they'll be fucking stone dead last and playing awfully. There will be no in between. I think they're gonna. I don't know. There's something about them. This is probably my roguest actual shout is Everton being in this position more than Luton. More than Luton. But I actually think we could see an Everton do all right this season, you know. And then I've got Villa in 8th, who are obviously the other team that haven't. I think our top 7 will be the same. Not in the same order, but I think we'll have the same teams. So yeah, Villa, I think will do good, but again, I think they might struggle a little bit with the amount of games they're going to have to play.
Yeah. For
the record, Tielemans, Diaby, and Pau Torres, really good signings. Really good signings. The fact they got I think it was 15 million or something for Nakamba.
Yep.
They released Ashley Young. That's not too bad.
There's nothing really bad.
And then apart from that, they haven't done much else wrong. So
no,
I think they're in quite a good position. 8th would be a good season for them. They get Europe this season. They don't get it next season. They can get Europe the following season. I think that'd be quite a name.
Yeah,
I think it'd be quite a good position. I think any Villa fan who'd snap your hand off at 8th.
We've gone too similar again.
Yeah,
I've got Brighton in 10th.
I could tell by your face.
And I would. Do you know what? There's one man that screams out to go to Brighton, and I'd put him up. I'd even put him up to 8th if they went and signed Chamberlain. I seriously look at this squad, and if they signed Ox, I really think he'll do well there.
I think he's going to either be off to Turkey or
but it looks like
or Saudi.
Besiktas. Because there was rumours going around about Brentford and Brighton. I was like, do you know, if Brighton signed him, I think it would be a really good signing.
Yeah, as long as something they need. It's still that risk you've got to take with Ox.
Yeah.
You can get a player that is probably arguably good enough to get to be an England, potentially even an England starter if he was fit enough for long enough.
Yeah, that's the fitness, yeah.
But I don't know. It's that. Yeah. Do you take that risk in the Premier League? I'm not so sure.
9th, I've gone West Ham.
Yeah, I worked out that was the team that was missing. And then 8th, you've got Villa.
I've got Villa.
Yeah.
So, it all seemed quite good. I think, like you said, Villa will struggle a bit.
I don't think they're good enough to get an actual European place again, the same as Brighton.
Well, I think there's too many good teams up there now.
I think last year was a bit of I think last year was a bit of a shocker, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
With a lot of the teams. So yeah.
But I do really, really like the way Emery's building his squad at the minute. He seems to be getting there.
I can't lie. I agree. Which is not something I expected to see. I knew he'd do. I knew he'd do all right.
He was a good manager, but I was like, I didn't think he'll be able to take Villa. They've definitely stepped up to become just outside those top 7 for me.
Yeah.
If they carry on like this, he's constantly improving.
Yeah.
A team like Villa.
Yeah. Who have you got in your Conference League spot, Pete?
This is the big shocker, and I've switched this around just because of news today, really. I've gone for Chelsea.
Oh.
Because I really, really think their star striker this season was going to be Nkunku. He's now out till Christmas with knee surgery.
Mm-hmm.
That's come out today.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking at players like Lukaku again. And they've got some good players in, but these players still need time to gel. And I just think there's a bit missing at Chelsea for me now. And I really think you've got the others that are stepping up, and there's the big team. I'll go for the one above them. This is a big reason I switched these two around. Is Spurs.
So you got Spurs and 6.
I really think they're going to keep Harry Kane. because
you watching me gone by Friday when this video comes out.
This is the thing. I've sat there and I've thought about it constantly. If they sell Harry Kane, say goodbye to Europe, because the quality they've got, Harry Kane on a bad season can still get you 20+ goals.
Oh yeah, I think,
and I'm thinking,
I agree, completely agree.
This will be the bit that takes them above Chelsea, especially as I see Chelsea's top striker now out till Christmas at least.
So I'm gonna just sort of jump in on the Spurs front because that's who I've got in 7th.
Ooh, okay.
Because I think, despite everything, I think Kane is going to go. But the argument was that we had in our Discord this week is that Spurs were being greedy. And I disagreed because I was explaining the difference between there being a market value and a club value. And Kane is closer to... Kane is probably closer to the 150 million level for Spurs.
Well, this is the thing. I've said, if you take Harry Kane away from Spurs...
They lose a lot.
Say goodbye to Europe, because you're not going to get into Europe unless you buy a top striker.
I think they might just scrape Conference League, which is where I've got them.
And this is the thing. I'd say they want Champions League. Say goodbye if you haven't got Harry Kane. Mm-hmm. With Harry Kane, you've got that chance. And if they did manage to get Champions League and keep Kane, who's saying he won't sign again if he's in Champions League?
Yeah, just because he doesn't want to right this second. Well, if he hasn't actually signed for anyone else, there is a chance that he could sign a new contract right up until the 30th of June.
I just feel they're losing a lot more potentially if they let him go. If they sell him now and not let him go for free. You could possibly get a high league position, possibly get Champions League money. There's a lot there.
Yeah, well, it's funny. Yeah. I'm saying, what did I say? I said, yeah, that's right. We have got it the right way around. You're saying he's staying, I'm saying he's going, and yet we still only reckon that's only a position difference.
Yeah.
Funny that, really, isn't it? It says how bad they've had. I'm intrigued. I keep umming and ahhing about whether Ange coming in from Celtic, Ostacoglo, or however you say it.
This is something that I reckon as well, sorry. That's another reason I put them up a position. Because I had Chelsea originally in 6th and Spurs 7th. I switched them. Knowing they're going to be playing attacking football, I think it could really work well for players like Son to get the best out of him again.
Yeah, and I think they could be the surprise one this year, if I'm being honest. Could be the surprise one because Ange has an absolute stinker, and this is why you don't hire managers from the Scottish Premier League. But there we are. As you've done your 6th, I'll do my 6th. I think this season might be a bit much for Newcastle. They're the players in are not the players in that we expected when we thought about it a year ago. We thought if they get Champions League, they're going to go a bit, maybe not a bit rogue, but a little bit, whoa, chill. Whoa. Yeah. These signings you're making are a bit much. They've signed Harvey Barnes. That's a good signing. Tonali. That's a good signing. And then Livramento today. I don't know whether that's a good signing or not. I think it'll be okay. But Barnes and Livramento they're not Champions League players.
This is the thing.
Sandro Tonali is.
Yeah.
The other two aren't. And I'm like, we're spending... You want to... Like, they do have money. We know they have money. Yes, they have financial fair play but we were expecting them all to cheat the system a little bit with Saudi.
Yeah.
And weirdly, they haven't. So I don't really know what more I can say. They've lost Saint Maximin, who I think is a good player for them to lose. Certainly for squad depth, if nothing else. Apart from that, the rest are all deadwood, to be fair. But yeah, that's why I'm saying 6th. I think League and Champions League might be a bit much for them this year.
I've not gotten too far off. I've got them in 5th.
You've got them in 5th. All right, yeah, fair enough.
Do you know what? I sit there and look at that, and I still look at it now, going Harvey Barnes, 38 million. Why wouldn't you spend another 5 and get someone like Ward-Prowse, who I think would make a massive difference? I really think he would. To a Newcastle.
Is that what? Wait, what? Hang on, what? Is that what Southampton are saying?
Well, they wanted silly money first of all, but
40 million for Ward-Prowse.
They wanted a lot more, but I think if they offered 40 million, a team like Newcastle, they wanted more for him.
Nuts.
Yeah, hold on, let's have a look. What was they actually asking for?
I absolutely agree with what you're saying. Otherwise, Ward-Prowse would be really good for their team. with Bruno in the middle.
I think he would work so well.
And Bruno, Tonali, and Ward-Prowse. I think that's a good three.
Here we go, because West Ham are still looking at him. But I know they wanted crazy money at one point.
Again, it's my topic of the week. Do you feel like Newcastle have premiums?
Here we go. Sorry, Saints are looking for more towards the £40 million mark.
Oh, towards.
So they wanted around. I think it was around 45. They said about first of all, but now it's got to this stage. They're looking.
I reckon if someone came in for 35, I think they'll take it.
Yeah. Which I think they should have got him, and Newcastle should have had him there. He would have been amazing.
I don't think Ward-Prowse will stay at Southampton.
No.
From what reports say now, I think he's going to end up somewhere. So,
yeah. But go on, you was on the subject of premiums.
I just think, we love to talk about premiums. The West Ham are having to pay a premium for players at the minute because they have money to spend. If Spurs sell Kane, they're going to have premiums to have to spend.
It's always going to happen.
Our mate Phil from It's Over the Line, he said that United have had that for years. Well, Newcastle are going to be in that same boat, aren't they?
This is what I used to love. And I know we're looking at a lot of them now, but how many players before did you used to see go for undisclosed amounts? But now it's quite rare to see. It used to happen all the time.
Usually, if it's undisclosed, it's because it's a bit shit.
Yeah, but before it was because it was always kept quite quiet.
Mm-hmm.
It was hardly ever publicised.
I remember rightly. I think originally Ronaldo, when he went from Cristiano, when he went from Man U to Real Madrid, was undisclosed. Yeah. And then they realised it was a world record transfer, and they're like, "Oh, we kind of have to say how much it is now."
Yeah, but it was always kept quite private.
Yeah,
because any other team that you buy, Man United then would have been charged stupid premiums. They were like, "Hold a minute, look how much money they've now got coming in."
Mm-hmm.
It's the reason they used to do it.
But yeah, I mean, so you got Newcastle 5th. Yeah. So Phil is getting really excited somewhere because he's thinking, yes, we've got Champions League football.
And
but not for me, they haven't. Not quite. No, I haven't. I haven't got them 5th. I haven't got them Champions League football. I have them 5th, is what I meant. I have.
Okay.
There's something, and it's hard to explain, and I think Phil will get it, that there's something missing from what they've brought in.
Yeah, massively, and I know exactly what it is.
I'm actually not convinced I know exactly what it is. Onana for De Gea, I think that's good. I think that's fine, and that's going to suit Ten Hag perfectly. I think Højlund's coming in. Let's just say for sake of argument, he's replacing Weghorst. I think that's a good signing. I don't think, but I have said he will score 12 in all competitions.
That's the problem.
He will not score 20. He will score 20 next season. And then I think we could easily see him scoring 30 the following year. And maybe that's what the something missing is. That he's good. But he's not that missing piece of the puzzle. I mean, it says Johnny Evans on a free here from Leicester, but I know
that's the last time you signed for.
Yeah, that deal. I know that. I know Evans won't be there anyway. I think he's rumoured to going elsewhere anyway.
Burnley.
Oh, was he?
Rumoured to go Burnley.
I mean,
which I think would be a great signing for
Burnley. Mason Mount for 60 million.
The thing is,
I think it's that midfield. I think it's what it is. They're on about selling McTominay. They're on about West Ham want to buy him. Maybe they're not on about selling him, but West Ham want him. They're on about selling Fred. They're on about selling Van de Beek. Mason Mount's not enough in that midfield for me. The defence is all right. Actually, I think they'll be fine defensively. Fine goalkeeper. The wingers, okay. They need to find their form. But there's something missing in that field to get them top 4 for me.
You know what? I've got them in 4th.
You've got them in 4th. Yeah, I knew you wouldn't have them much higher.
And I think the big reason they would beat Spurs, Chelsea and Newcastle is Mason Mount. Because the way I see
that was bold!
Fred and McTominay, there's only one thing they can do. They sit back, they hold that midfield. Mount can do that. Mount can also push up that bit. I think Mount gives them more options. That's the thing I think Mount's going to do. Mount's going to give them options this year. He can push up. He can be that man that just sits behind the strikers if need be. But I also think I know there's in pre-season they've been playing Rashford as a false nine back there as well. Not Rashford, sorry, they've been playing Sancho there, and Sancho's been looking really, really good in that position. I think you're going to see Sancho have a really good season.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. He could be that difference maker. He could be that difference maker.
And I think knowing that you've got different options instead of just having McFred sit back a bit and then have Bruno do all the work. I think the bit with Mount you'll have the chance of Bruno pushing out and Mount can take that role. I think it's just they're going to be a bit more unpredictable, and I think that's what's going to pip it now.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to have the same top 3 teams anyway because I've got Chelsea in 4th. Now, this one for me is probably my one that's not based on right now. I think Chelsea aren't done spending this summer. Especially with the fact that, like you mentioned, that Nkunku is injured.
Yeah, he's out for till Christmas now.
The players that they've got rid of, mostly, were deadwood, really, or players that weren't even working for them. Kai Havertz going to Arsenal for 65 million, by the way. I think it's a really good deal for Chelsea. He wasn't working. They didn't know where to stick him.
Yeah. Chelsea, I think he really struggled. I think he'll do really well at Arsenal.
I don't think he will. Genuinely don't. I think someone that will do well at their new club is Kovacic. I think that's the one that they're going to regret. Because I think get him going for so little could be a struggle. The players they've brought in, Robert Sanchez, I think will be their number 1 by the end of the season. I think he'll overthrow Kepa, and I think he's probably arguably a better goalkeeper than Mendy. And Nkunku's a shame. He's a massive shame.
Well, he was someone I really think was going to take the Premier League by storm this year.
It's possible that he comes back after Christmas, and he's that difference maker to get him into Champions League. It'd be like it is going to be another new signing for them come January, hopefully. I like the look of that Nicholas Jackson that was from Villarreal.
Very quick, very quick.
I think he'll do good, and I think Pochettino's got enough of a squad there now. Because they bought so many players last season, let's not forget. Yep. So fucking many.
I'll be honest.
And they've got rid of a lot of old and just deadwood players. I think I got this feeling. It's the Poch effect. I think he's just going to get 4th place.
You know what? He well could do. And I always thought for a long time, one place Chelsea were looking a bit dodgy was at the back. With Colwill coming through, I think he's going to be a big, big player this year.
Well, for me, I think you've got 2 really good centre-backs there now. 2 really good young centre-backs that have the ultimate player to learn from. So you've got Colwill and Fofana. I don't know if he's currently fit. He probably isn't. But if he can stay fit, then those 2 learning off Thiago Silva could be phenomenal. They've got rid of Koulibaly, who wasn't working. So
no. And we've even been after Colwill, and they've said he's a starter. He's not for sale. Don't even put an offer in. He's no matter what price, he isn't for sale.
I think they've done. I think their business they've done has been all right, with the exception of Kovacic. Kovacic is the one I would have gone. No, can do everything we can to keep hold of him.
I think their midfield got to work. They've got some players in there last season who never really got the chance, didn't really work yet. We did say, do you remember when Thomas Tuchel was sacked?
Mm-hmm.
And they brought in Potter?
Mm-hmm.
And we was like, do you know what? There's some great signings, but for the next manager.
Yeah.
Because they're going to take a while to settle in.
Yeah, I think Poch.
Someone like Poch, not a bad second manager.
Will do very well out of them.
I just think their strikers are going to be the problem. It's a long time to not have a top striker until Christmas.
Don't think they're done signing. That's why I've stuck them 4th. I got a feeling we could see another striker come in.
Do you know, if they get a top striker, I'll definitely put them on.
Do you know what? I actually see another bloody saga in this bloody Lukaku thing going, and that he's either used as part of a swap deal or fucking Poch goes, do you know what? I want to keep you, and he just goes on and scores fucking 20 goals for them this season or something stupid.
No headers. No headers.
Yeah, no headers.
He won't score those headers in the area.
No, just fucking.
He likes missing those.
Yeah. Who've got 3rd then, Pete?
3rd?
That's
me. Got Liverpool.
Yeah, so have
I just don't think we're gonna. this next bit's really puzzling me because I think we're going to have a really good season, but I think we're going to rotate a lot up top. I think Nunes will have a good season, but they're going to be rotating with Gakpo.
Did you see who was starting in our midfield this week? We played Union Berlin yesterday.
I haven't seen yesterday's one.
Gakpo started in centre midfield.
This is the thing.
It was very fucking strange.
We've been playing Arnold there. We've played him at right back. So, and are we going to get the Arnold McAllister? Because this sounds crazy to say, but Arnold's weakest bit for me for the last 2 seasons has been his defending.
Mm-hmm. That's not crazy.
One of our best defenders. Well, no, but considering he's one of our best defenders,
yeah,
the weakest bit about him is his defence.
I think as Liverpool, I think the reason that we, and I dare say, having looked at it as well, we could even get fourth, maybe even fifth. But I'm hoping that the players that we have signed in McAllister and Szoboszlai are going to be good enough to take us to that next level. For the record, Dominic Szoboszlai, for me, is Hendo's replacement as captain in the future, in like 2 seasons' time. Because this is where we're going to struggle. We aren't going to have leadership this season.
No. I also expect to see 2 players really step up a couple of gears this year. That's Diaz and Nunes.
I think Nunes is going to score.
They have to.
Well, I think Nunes is going to score us 25 goals in all competitions this season.
Because I'll be honest, if Nunes doesn't have a good season, I could see him going, right, we need to maybe start looking now. And Diaz as well. I know he had an injury last year, come back, and I was really had high hopes for him. I think he will do it this year. But I think we're just going to be just a little bit short.
No, I agree. So as it turns out, then we've got the exact same top 3 because there's no,
and I think it's the same position.
Yeah, there's no way you've got Arsenal winning the league. City are just too good, mate.
Yeah,
they are. They are just too good, and it's a shame because for me, Arsenal signings. Do you know what? Arsenal signings are probably one of the best set of signings I've seen a team make in a very long time. Yeah, okay. So Havertz is a weird one for me. I don't know what the fuck they're going to do with him, where they're going to stick him. The only thing missing from Arsenal is signing a decent, either a decent striker or actually playing one of their fucking strikers they've got instead of Havertz.
Yeah,
Havertz isn't a striker. Stop trying to play him there. We need to see them playing either Balogun or Nketiah, and then go in and get another striker. Make a decision. Don't play Havertz there.
They massively need a striker, especially when Jesus likes to sit back. Either get him to stay up front, say to him, "Stop dropping back."
Yeah, well, I'm not saying I'm not including Jesus because I got a feeling. Yeah. I know he was injured the other day, but I could see him having a bit of a recurring one for the first part of the season, which is why I didn't include him. Jesus is the one, but
yeah, and I tell you what, someone else that I know he's played that attacking role for Arsenal in pre-season. And he looks so good at it. And as soon as he come on the weekend, he looked a menace. Trossard. To play that attacking role.
Yeah, Trossard, not as a striker. Really I wouldn't play him as a striker.
But he was played. I think it was Barca. He come on, scored twice there. He looks an absolute menace. He would be the man to sit just behind a striker for me.
Yeah,
he gets goals, but they do need a striker massively.
But they're very well sorted in midfield as well, which is good. The defence, as an Arsenal fan, I'd be chuffed with. Seeing David Raya linked with them's an odd one for me.
I've spoken to people about this.
I just don't get it.
No, for me, I tell you now, if he joins, Ramsdale's up. He's got to go because. You look at stats, Reyes just pips him on stats, and a lot of people say they like Ramsdale.
I don't know if I agree.
You're not going to sign a £30 million, because that's the thing they're talking about, a £30 million goalkeeper to then keep him on the bench.
I'd argue Ramsdale is also at least a £30 million goalkeeper.
Oh, no, I think he is. And honestly, I think... And people are going mad at me for saying this. I really believe, apart from Man United, Ramsdale could pretty much get into every single team. Well, I
think Ramsdale's great, and I actually think he would start ahead of Raya, if I'm being honest. But he's not better than Ederson. He's not better than Alisson.
this is where I'm starting to think Alisson are getting to that age now
so
where they're going to start to dip.
Hang on, let's bring that back. You're saying Onana's the best goalkeeper in the Premier League?
No, I know. I bet they wouldn't. Man United wouldn't pick Ramsdale over Onana at the minute. I think he's perfect for Man United. Perfect goalkeeper for Man United.
I don't think they're too
perfect for Ten Hag.
They're not too dissimilar players, mind.
No, but I'm looking at it and you go, looking at goalkeepers. Alisson, he's not better than Alisson, but Alisson is getting to that age where he's going to start to dip soon. Ramsdale's not even hit his peak, and he's not good for another few years.
It does, but Raya's in that same position as well, so it just seems weird them signing both. Yeah, okay, yeah. I know that Turner's been linked with going to Forest, but that seems only because Raya's coming in.
You're not going to have two goalkeepers that expect to play. Neither one of them are going to want to play half a season.
No.
Neither of them. They are both going to want to play every single game.
Well, it's a hard one because Raya probably could easily be. In fact, he might even be. I know that Unai Simon is also there, but he could easily be Spain's number one. Push. Wow, they got a lot of good ones, but there isn't any standout ones at the minute.
And I believe that Ramsdale should be England's number one.
Could easily be England's number one. But then you've also got that Turner is America's number one.
Yeah.
But from what I gather, Turner's not too upset about being a backup player and then just being number one for America.
Yeah, well, this is the thing that goes back to...
I'd stick with comfortability, to be honest.
It goes back to where he lived for at the minute with Kelleher and Alisson.
I know he's not... Yeah, Kelleher's not particularly happy being...
No, but he's a great... he's a great goalkeeper. And like Klopp thinks he's got two amazing goalkeepers. It was just he would be... They said he reckons Kelleher will be number one for most clubs in the Premier League. A hell of a lot of them. But he's got someone like Alisson in front of him. That's the problem. But there's a different level with having
those two. I think Ramsdale and Raya are both at least, and that's being probably a bit harsh on them. I think they're probably even better than that, but they're at least Europa League goalkeepers.
Yeah,
number one and number two. It's very weird.
Could you imagine back in the day having a Schmeichel and Seaman playing in the same team?
Okay, it's not that level, but it's yeah.
But they're very much on that level, and it's just like, why you wouldn't? One's going. There's no way. Both of them will stay. 100% for me.
No, yeah. What? I don't know. Weird. City though.
Yeah. Different level.
They've sold aging players. They've let go players that are in legal disputes. We'll just leave it at that. And they've sold a couple of youngsters that probably weren't going to make it in Trafford and Borges in their first team anyway. Probably weren't going to make it. And they've managed to get to 15 million again. How do they keep getting this money out of Southampton, by the way? Southampton bought like 5 players last summer and it wasn't good enough to keep them up. And they've gone, do you know what? We'll pay 15 million for Shea Charles as well.
Yeah.
Why is that going to help? You're where you are because of what you did last summer. Why are you doing it still?
You look at it going, do you know what? Goodigan's gutting that he's gone.
Goodigan.
Yeah.
Goodigan.
Gutting that he's gone. Gutting that he's gone. But
agent.
And it's not like they haven't got someone there to replace him.
Well,
and even Mahrez.
There isn't, did you say?
No, it's not like they haven't got someone that can replace him.
Kovacic is perfectly good enough.
Mahrez, you look going, do you know what? Mahrez done okay. He weren't getting the game time that everyone thought he was going to get. They got 30 million for him, and they've got Cole Palmer coming through.
Yeah. And they've also signed one of the best centre backs / left backs in world football.
Yep.
When they were already almost perfection last season.
And
it speaks for itself. City are probably one of the greatest teams that have ever appeared in our lifetimes. This City squad, anyway.
I reckon they'll get the 4 this year.
It's not a case of if City win the league. I think City, it's just when they'll have it wrapped up by. And I genuinely can see it being wrapped up by mid-April.
Do we reckon Haaland's going to break his own record? You don't reckon? I reckon he'll do that just pretty much against Luton.
Luton finished 17th. But yeah. So realistically, actually, there's not really that many surprises that we've got this year. Maybe me putting Luton in 17th. I know that's a surprise for you. Everton, me putting Everton in 9th is probably the biggest shock, actually.
I think that's why I went for Palace as well. I think that could be the biggest shock for me.
Yeah, but again, Palace going down or Wolves going down, they're both two big teams to lose from the Prem. The other two are Forest and Sheffield United, or Forest and Luton.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't be crazy losses. Yeah. There we are. I suppose we'll see you in a year's time, and me and Pete will maybe react to last year's one next week, because I don't know about Pete. But I feel like Pete, we need to start doing more football stuff.
I definitely do.
Shall we bring back some Football Manager? I feel like that should be a thing.
I definitely think that should
be a thing. So I'm feeling like we've got Wrestling Wednesdays, and if you like wrestling, go and check out that. We do that on a Wednesday. Guess what? Guess what we're going to have on a Friday?
Football Friday.
Football Fridays, baby. And if you have got this far, thank you very bloody much, because it's like an hour recording. And leave a like, share, subscribe. Suppose good luck, Pete, on getting all these right this season. See how we get on and see who won. It'll be interesting to see who won last year's, actually.
It will be interesting to be fair. So we were very similar on a lot of them, if I remember right.
I think we were, yeah.
Because Phil was with us.
Phil
was with us, I think.
We'll have to check that, and then we might have to do a reaction with Phil from It's Over the Line.
Yeah, I'm sure he was.
Okay, and we will catch you in the next one.
See ya.
And we are back at the end of the episode because Pete has just read something on his phone whilst we were recording. What was that?
On Sky Sports News, Premier League investigating Chelsea for potential rule breaches during Abramovich's ownership of the club. So there's more investigations happening now.
I'm not so comfortable about Chelsea being fourth.
Are they going to spend still, are they?
Fuck!